Okay, welcome back to BetBright's 3-1. We're going to talk about the biggest sporting event of the weekend. Doesn't really matter what you're partial to, I don't think, in your sporting calendar for the year. Floyd Mayweather against Conor McGregor is the fight that will break all box office records, so it seems, and the one that has been called partly more in hilarity rather than that this will be a great fight for about a year or so. It's happening in Las Vegas on Saturday. Let's talk about the build-up. I think the build-up, and we said this before on here, is actually going to be better than the fight, in my view. Yeah. And so far hasn't disappointed. We've had all the press junkets, which were all great fun, and a bit of swearing going on.
It's been very long though, isn't it? You're almost feeling, like, I think you're almost feeling fatigued at this point before the actual fight. You're just like, oh, fucking just get on with it. Like,
fight.
You know? Yeah, just fight. Like, just go in there and fight, and then we'll know, and everyone can shut up.
Then we can watch the most pointless sporting event there ever was.
It must employ so many people, like the actual lead up to it.
It's just the entourage of the winners here. But I mean, do you actually think it's the most pointless fight ever?
Absolutely the most pointless thing ever, yeah.
Really?
Genuinely couldn't care less. Neither of them. All we're doing here is we're all...
You'll be watching it on Saturday.
I more than likely will probably get up and watch it. But like, we'll end up... All we're doing is we're making two very, very wealthy men wealthier with nothing to come of it, like. Absolutely nothing. The only thing that could possibly come from this fight is if McGregor somehow wins.
I think just
he'll destroy boxing forever. Boxing will become the biggest joke of a sport ever.
There is that danger.
I think
that's the only thing.
There's a frustration, I think, for me in that we don't know. So like you kind of
what don't we know?
Like in the build up, we don't know what it's going to look like, and we don't know. Obviously, in any fight, you don't know what's going to... Like, obviously, we can all make predictions, but no one really knows what's going to look like or how it's going to happen on the night. But, like, you're kind of listening to these guys in advance, like, as you said, the guys who make money.
Yeah.
Like, the entourages. And you've been listening to them now for 3 or 4 months, and every one of them has a different opinion. But they all seem to be, like, transparent in their self-interest as well. Like, you know, Conor's sparring partner is now saying he's shit.
Whole
to try and create a beef where he can get a fight. So you don't know if he's telling the truth, if he's lying. Like, obviously, everyone on Conor's side, the UFC side, it's in their best interest to promote Conor to suggest that Paulie did get the head boxed off him.
But we've seen the clip, and it is honestly like two drunk men who just went, "Oh, we'll have a bash at this for a crack." There's no style in there, even from Malignaggi.
You would, like, the clip we saw, what is it, all of 8 or 12 seconds or something. But I mean, it wasn't totally dissimilar to something you'd see outside Supermax at 4 o'clock in the morning. But
it's very fake newsy, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, the whole thing.
The whole thing is kind of Donald Trump-esque, where they're just saying something without backing anything
and
up.
Both sides
are meant to just believe it. Like
both sides are totally conflicting each other. There doesn't seem to be really any objective.
If you had to believe one side, you'd pick Malignaggi's side, wouldn't you?
Yeah. But even the pundits.
I mean, it would be in Conor McGregor's interest now to release a video of him flooring him, like.
Even the pundits.
Clearly didn't.
He says he can't do that for the game plan. He doesn't want to see the whole thing.
But
I mean,
imagine giving up the game plan.
Like, I mean, even the pundits though, who are supposed to be unbiased, they're either boxing pundits or they're UFC pundits. So they're all totally unbiased.
Yeah.
So basically, we're left there after watching 3 months worth of build-up, and we're still none the wiser.
No.
Although we claim
they'll book it into the ring, and they won't punch each other for about 12 rounds.
And we'll do it all again in May.
Yeah. For me, Mayweather's he's dominated the sport for the last 20 odd years.
Yeah.
He's 49-0. This is his 50th fight.
He can't lose.
It's literally. He's got a guy who's... It's not like there's a passing or changing of the guard like Klitschko and AJ. It's literally like a hard bloke from the pub going, right, I reckon I can have a go at Mayweather.
It is.
Give me 6 months to train.
It's different. It's more than that as well.
Why is it more than that? One of them is a boxing.
So boxing has always been dictated by a certain protocol that both fighters follow, and one tries to be better than the other. The suggestion here is, like, I don't think if Conor goes in there and he tries to be like any of the lads McGregor's or Mayweather's faced, like, I think he will get absolutely
What's
murdered.
in the rules to allow him to be anything else?
Anything else?
He can go wheeling in.
I think there is room there, I'd imagine, for him to try
kick
other
him?
things.
Like,
other stances and maybe try and get in close and dirty it up.
He's a southpaw fighter. And Mayweather's already dominated Pacquiao, who was probably one of the best southpaw fighters there's ever been. I just don't see any angle.
If Mayweather doesn't want to be hit,
McGregor,
as the Irish boxing coach
said, the Irish boxing coach is one of the legends who completely turned around Irish amateur boxing. And he said, I spent my whole life getting the head pucked off me for free. Fair play to Conor McGregor for getting 100 million for getting the head kicked off him as well.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's going to happen.
I just cannot believe that there is no chance.
There is no chance.
For any man who, like, any two men getting into a ring are going to throw hands I believe there's a chance that someone will get caught.
That somehow Mayweather takes a slip or
falls
into a fight.
Yeah.
That's basically.
So that could potentially happen. It really pisses me off when everyone's like, no chance, no chance.
Guys like Oscar De La Hoya, like Marquez, Ricky Hatton, they spent their whole lives training
to be a boxer.
Day and night to be a boxer. It's not like something you can learn overnight, which McGregor clearly.
And Mayweather danced around every one of them. And like Mayweather now has decided all of a sudden he's a boxer.
I don't really fancy McGregor's chances. Like I think the most likely outcome is that Mayweather toys with him for 12 rounds.
That's exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah, I think that's the most likely thing. But I do take exception when people are like, there's no chance, there's no chance, there's no chance.
There is no chance.
I genuinely think there's absolutely no chance. There is genuinely no chance.
If this is a truly honest, we haven't already arranged a rematch type WWF fight, right? Then honestly, Mayweather will make him look very silly for 12 rounds. Yeah. He'll dance around him.
After about 8 or 9, Conor McGregor could actually end up kicking him.
He'll just lose it because he won't get near him. And I don't understand how it can be anything else unless there's foul play involved in terms of we need another fight in May. So can we at least have, because this is turned into the realms of wrestling. It's turned into the
You'd have Donald Trump running in and interfering.
It's organised matches that the public want, not true.
Yeah, that's totally. So basically, you're saying then that you don't think there's any innovation they could have come up with.
Absolutely
no, there's actually
like
either
what?
like you.
Do you remember?
I don't know what's going to look like. None of us know what's going to look like.
If you knew, we'd be in the ring.
So I'm sorry. If I knew, I would be in the ring.
Oh God. No, look.
I'd probably with as much chance of beating him as you said.
It's farcical because if he does beat Mayweather, what does that make all the other fighters that couldn't beat him look like in boxing?
I think boxing will never recover from it if he does.
Never.
Because it's really been put on a pedestal that didn't deserve if some guy can come in and do that.
If I was going to have a punt on this, I'd go for the draw, 33-1, just for a bit of fun. Like, as you say, Dean.
The draw?
Well, because that's how you get the rematch. That's how you get the multi-billion-pound rematch organised. Is if it's a draw and both sides think they won, and let's all have this again. It's just let's do it at SummerSlam though next time.
Imagine pay-per-view though, people won't tolerate. If this isn't a competitive
they
fight,
will
people won't tolerate this shit again.
Of course they will.
Is that through Klitschko and David Hay that time? Of course they'll tolerate.
His little toe.
It was an awful fight. They just danced around each other for the whole fight. Generally, boxing fans will be well used to fights where not a whole pile happens now these days.
Should we talk about some odds here? Because there are some. Actually, no, one other thing. I remember being at school and there was a kid who thought he could fight, right? And he came out against a guy who obviously could fight and had won fights at school. And he just did a windmill-style punch all the way so the guy couldn't hit him. It was a farce. If we get something like that, I would pay to watch it.
Yeah, sure, maybe that's
about 40 years ago, Dave,
Did you hurt him, Dave?
I was very... I lost.
Damn near killed him.
Let's talk about the odds.
Kicking him in the 8th round.
The money, because of people like Conor, deluded about what this might end up, has actually come for Conor McGregor. So when he started out at the beginning of this, I think it was 7 to 1 around for Conor McGregor.
5 to 2 now.
He's 100 to 30 with BetBright. The draw is 33 to 1, and Floyd 4 to 1 on. If you had mountains of cash and you knew this wasn't a WWF style setup, 4 to 1 on is one of the best prices.
That's why people are probably doing it.
Absolutely,
scared.
Yeah.
People are scared of this result, I think.
You'd probably put like 30 grand on Mayweather and then $1 grand on the draw just to cover it, wouldn't you?
I think just put it in the bank and watch the
I think
fight.
if you're a more casual punter though, you're not going to be going.
You're only going to back Conor. You're only going to back Conor.
You're going to be looking at Conor and you're going to be looking
You'd be
at
aiming towards what it is on points. What's Mayweather to win on points? Like?
Mayweather to win on points 23 to 10.
Yeah, that's the bet.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to need to knock him out. I don't think he's that bothered about the guy enough to do that. And he didn't do that with a lot of fighters. He'll just dance around him, make him look very foolish for entering a boxing ring.
He'd be very patient with him, and I don't think McGregor's got the patience to go.
Hasn't the only variable has been that they've allowed much smaller gloves, isn't it?
8 ounces now.
They've allowed that,
yeah.
That won't make a blind bit of difference.
Yeah, no, it won't. But again, if McGregor happens to he slips and catches him, that's where the difference comes. Like.
I think Mayweather could have 2 heads and Conor wouldn't hit one of them. Like.
You'd imagine the two of them will probably have swollen hands after it. Like that's it.
Yeah, sure.
Unless they do a Mayweather like Victor Ortiz style win. Remember that when the two of them were nearly embracing in the ring and Mayweather just clocked him twice and ended the fight.
Yeah, it can happen, but it's only really going to happen one side, I think.
Yeah,
if McGregor can win, how will he win? What round will he win?
I think, to look for a value in a bet, I think he'd have to say within the first 4 rounds.
Okay.
I think he'll have to start.
Rounds 1 to 3, 15 to 2 for Conor McGregor. That's where that says 4 to 6, 9 to 1. Yeah, I think
if it goes beyond the 6, it's inevitably going to go to 12, and it's not going to be good news when the judges' scorecards come in.
Yeah, okay. No interest then among the panel, even if we kind of would be delighted to see something weird happen.
I'll be interested.
You are going to fucking watch it.
You are going to watch
it. I genuinely am.
You will watch it.
I'm away for the weekend.
You will watch it.
Book in the hotel room. I genuinely can't see myself being bothered.
No, is there a price for that on there?
Dermo watching the fight 1 to 3.
Following morning, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, they're still watching it. Not everyone has to watch it.
It'll be the first thing you check on your phone when you wake up. More if you're not watching it.
Yeah, no. I will accept that.
Okay, I'm going to give you all one line on the fight. Dermo, result.
Load of crap.
Fine.
I'm going to go Mayweather win, but if McGregor does win, fair play to him.
That's the biggest cop out I've ever heard.
He's got fucking splinters in his arse here from sitting on the fence. Like,
Mayweather will win, no doubt, but if McGregor does win, which he won't,
it gets worse.
It'll be the greatest achievement ever.
Great, I'm glad I asked you.
How much time do you have left on that camera?
Mayweather on points.
Great, yeah.
Just to be a dissenting opinion, I think Conor has a chance, and I think Conor inside 4 might get lucky.
I'd love to take that bet. Go with Mayweather
you
points.
100 to 1 on it, wouldn't you?
Certainty. Absolute certainty.
And we're done on fighting.
We're definitely done.